Shalom, shalom. Okay, we live. Let me get these slides out. Get this slide, man. Fear the Most High, man. Fear the Lord. Do we really fear him? Do we really fear him in Israel? Where we at? Where we at? Where we at? Where we at? Faith. I hate these things ain't in order. Is it lack of fear? Percent. Yep, it's lack of fear. All right. Invite. Boom, man. We got a lot of slides here today, y'all. But it's because it's all over the text, man. It's an essential understanding. It's an essential emotion. This fear that we supposed to have, that we should have is man, did I just okay, no, I did stream y'all. This fear that we supposed to have is essential for our walk, man. It is vital. It is vital. Shalom, brother.
Shalom, up.
It is vital for our walk, man. It's the glue. It's the glue that keep us walking straight. It's the glue that keep us on the straight and narrow. Is the fear, and we've grown to. You can't get that by knowing that you're an Israelite. You know, just by you knowing you're an Israelite, it doesn't give you the fear. All right, the fear comes from you getting whooped, man. Comes from the testimonies in the text and you reading and going over these testimonies. But a lot of times we don't. A lot of times we don't go over the testimonies. A lot of times we don't go over, especially the bad ones. No, we'll read about Jericho being turned down and being destroyed. But, you know, we won't read about the punishments. We won't read about, you know, how, you know, these prophets are prophesying against the destruction of Israel because of our disobedience. We don't hearken on it. Sometimes we have to read these things because we need to be building up a fear, so that we can stay on that straight and narrow and out of the worldly ways, you know, because you can sneak out there into that world a little bit, and then before you know it, you know, you in the middle of the ocean. You in the middle of the world, man. You in the heart of the world. You know, you walking on the rainbow flags and you know, you back out there. Everybody miss you, man. Everybody, oh man, that's the old boy, that's the old sir, man. That's the old Anthony, but that's the one I know. And you know, they'll say something just for a little second, and then, you know, they'll be dapping you up and forget everything that they knew about you. Everything that they thought you stood for. And a lot of them waiting for you to fall, waiting for you to come back. Get a little joke, because everybody like to see somebody fall. Everybody love to see somebody fall, man. We love to see it. We love to see it, man. We love to see our destruction. That's all on the thing, man. You know. But man, we gonna go and get into this thing because like I say, man, it's a lot. I don't even know if we gonna get through it all. But we'll be kind of gonna be speeding through this thing, man. But y'all got the slides. You can write these verses down, and you know, you can build your own lesson or go over these things and, you know, get more of the context. It's gonna be a lot of one hitter quitters, a lot of one shooters. You can go back and get the context. Shalom, brother Alizar. still mic'd up. I do them some extra precepts. If we have time, we'll come back to them. But you can go ahead right now. Proverbs 1:7, Proverbs 2:1-5, Sirach 19:18, Psalms 22:23. We have time. We'll come back to them. All right, fear. All right, Psalms 25 and verse 14.
Psalms 25 and verse 14.
Shalom, brother Michael.
Hey, shalom, shalom, family.
I'm trying to write this down. Psalms 25 and 14 reads, "The secret of the Lord is with them that fear him, and he will show them his covenant."
He will show them his covenant. The secret of the Lord is with them that fear him. All right, you want to know those secrets, man? You want to be revealed some things? It's gonna come from fear, and a lot of times the fear gonna have you in the text. A lot of times the fear gonna have you getting back right, but you have to acknowledge some things. How much of our lives is based off of? How much do we base our lives on our obedience, or how things are going in our lives? How many of us base that on, or how? Or what level are we basing this on our obedience to the Most High, or our disobedience? Some people may be, doing good, in their wickedness, and they think, well, when I'm wicked, I'm straight, but all my bills paid when I'm wicked. But sometimes, and people level that out. You know what I'm saying? Just like it's like, and it be like that sometimes. It's like selling drugs, man. Joker just got out of prison from selling drugs and doing crazy. Thought he got punished for doing that. But the only way he got back on his feet was going back out there and going back into the streets. But sometimes Most High set you up like that, man. Sometimes he'll let you lean on your own understanding, build you up, might even put you in a Lamborghini Maserati, and then knock you down. What's going on with what's the boy name? Lil Boosie. He in some, on a little gun charge, but did all of this stuff. He done got away with all of this stuff allegedly. And then, somebody caught you on Instagram with a little pistol, and you done bought a club, you done made the most money you done ever made, or you were making. And now, some little pistol can strip everything from you. And
Hey, Shalakia.
Go ahead, bro.
Hey, shalom, family, man. I had to get my earpiece together. Yeah, and I was in church, man. The pastor he did a sermon one time and said even the dope dealers know how to pay tithes. You know what I mean? And when you're in the world, man, in the streets, man, you have all these little nuances you do for protection. You know what I mean? You're doing dirt, but they say, man, put some lemons in the back seat, put some lemons in your trunk. That's gonna stop the police from pulling you over.
I ain't never heard that one. That was a new one for me. I was a new one for me. Yeah, I can see brothers doing that though, but I done heard brothers with some superstitious stories, man. But yeah, the lemons in the back of the trunk, and they won't pull you over.
They won't pull you over, brother. But that's what I'm saying though. That's how the Most High have you with that strong delusion, brother. And I hear, brother.
Right. Yeah, that was my first time hearing that one, boy. That the Miamians, boy.
Good time.
Yeah, brother.
Chicken bones in the trunk and everything.
Hey, they say that's where them goons at, brother. That's where them goons at, brother.
I'm gonna make everybody pay you up front.
Hey, Shalakia.
Go ahead,
I know I ain't trying to make the class longer, but he just made a point about the dope dealers paying tithes. They trying their best to do right with that dirty money.
Yeah.
I got a relative right now He met some family members of mine on this side down here, and he passing out money to the little kids. And the mama's birthday wasn't until next week. He even gave her money, you know.
Mm,
So they trying their best to do right with that bread, and that's really a guilt trip.
right.
I believe they feeling guilty about how they got that bread, so they want to turn it over in the best way possible. Yeah,
Right. It's a level of fear there. It's a fear, and it may not be of the Most High. It may be a thing of karma, or like you said, guilt, or something. They trying to balance it out because
con,
they something in them telling them, man, this gonna get me. This, this gonna get me. You know what I'm saying? This stuff gonna come back on me. I seen Damon Dash say in a video, he was like, I know how to make money exploiting people in that music business, but it gave me bad karma. Look at me now. So I'm not doing that no more. I'm not finna go in there. I know how to make money doing that. But look what it got me. Now, somebody else, other people that's doing dirt, they may not feel that way. But it's something in him that's telling him it was consequences for what he did. And it's
con,
something that and a lot of people that's telling them it's consequences for selling dope. And it's even though the money's coming in, man, it's consequences for this. And it's a heavy thing. But even for us, we have to understand when we in this walk that there are consequences. Even us saying that we Israel, it's consequences come with that. It's consequences. You can't do what these other folks do. And we have to understand that. And if we living like that, and we can yield ourselves in. Not that we won't, we won't stray off. Not that we won't fall. But when we do fall, we and get hit upside the head, we rub our head and be like, okay, Lord, I see you. All right. Thank you. Thank you, because it could have been worse. You could have just took me out, and then you start praying like, just even like David. Don't take your spirit away from me. David prayed, don't take your spirit away from me, please. But a lot of us get up and dust that stuff off, man, thinking it's y'all, man. I was, that I ain't do that right. I ain't position that right, or I jumped too quick. Nah, man, you was disobedient. Look what you was doing out here. Prayer for the fear. Pray for fear. Shalaki. Psalms 86 and 11.
God. It's the book of Psalms, chapter 86, verse 11. Teach me thy way, O Lord. I will walk in thy truth. Unite my heart to fear thy name.
Yeah, man, bring my heart to fear thy name. Send up a prayer for my heart to fear you more. Because I don't fear the consequences, man. I'm out here wilding. Man. I'm in all kind of inboxes, man. Give me the fear. We gotta have those kind of talks with ourselves when we seeing ourselves straight off. Because a lot of times, ain't nobody gonna see you. You ain't gonna call me. You ain't gonna call me. I probably ain't gonna call you. Just be here just trying to work these things out. And but that fear is that first line of defense. Understanding the game fear. Proverbs 8:13. Like I said, we just gonna hit these little one heaters. It's all over the text, y'all. We could be here 4 hours. Dealing with fear, dealing with wisdom, dealing with some of those essential principles of the text. With understanding, dealing with the heart and circumcision of the heart. These are long lessons. 2-3 part series. But yeah, we're gonna try to get through this thing. Proverbs 8:13.
Proverbs 8 and 13. The fear of the Lord is to hate evil, pride, and arrogancy, and the evil way, and the froward mouth do I hate.
And that's a build up. Do we really hate pride? When we see our brothers and sisters in pride, does it agitate us? Is it agitating? Or, is it inspiring? Sometimes pride can be a little inspiring to some people. In the perverse mouth, in the forward mouth, we should hate, man. Sirach 15:13. Somebody had something. I seen some lips smack a little bit while I was just hearing something. That's Sirach 15:13.
This Sirach 15, verse 13. The Lord hateth all abomination,
Mm.
and they that fear God love it not.
And those that fear God, they love it not. Job 28:28. He ate of all abominations. All right. If pork is abomination to him, he hated. Fear God, you hate it. You hate it also. You're not gonna
Job
be up there.
28. Shalak.
Go ahead, go. You good?
Job 28:28. And unto man he said, behold, the fear of the Lord, that is wisdom, and to depart from evil is understanding.
And to depart from evil is understanding. Fear the Lord, that's wisdom. That's wisdom. And then you departing. You departing because of that fear. You're departing because of the consequences. Because of may be you may lose the ticket. All right, your name may be blotted out of that book. Do we think about that? Do we pray about not getting the name blotted out the book? Please don't blot that name out my book. Do we even think it like? Are we even thinking like that's even a look at my mic. Look at you gonna act crazy like that. Do we even think that thing will jump out like that? That we can that can actually happen to us. Y'all still hear me? My mic super static. Oh, I need
It's
to
Yeah,
static.
you good.
Hey, Shalaki,
go ahead, brother.
in that proverb, that pride. I remember one time, my last night coming into the truth. I had to go around certain people's houses. One guy that was a good friend of his wife is a good friend of my wife, and so we had stopped eating the pork. We had stopped. But people do what they do, and and people intentionally used to eat pork and be like, boy, this pork sure is good. I mean, he bald headed, so you got his pores opening up and a sweat coming from his forehead, and he like, boy, this pork sure is good. It's just like it used to agitate me. I never showed it, but it used to agitate me because it seemed like people was trying to tempt the Lord.
Yeah, why are you saying that? Why you doing that? Not even doing that, but you putting a fence for me.
Right?
So why you trying to be funny like that? And would you do that to your pastor if your pastor thought that way? And that's what I'm saying. It's about a reverence. They just sometimes the people they just don't respect you. They don't respect your walk. They don't respect your spirituality, man. You still ant, man. You still Miami ant. Man. Yeah, you gonna got that Bible in your hand. You wearing these little funny clothes, but man, I know you. I know you, man. I'm just here waiting on you to slip, so I can tell my wife. I told you, baby. A lot of people around just for that, man. But if you stay around long enough, they'll get convinced. Stay around long enough, you'll get convinced. You must be taught the fear of the Most High. It just don't happen. Deuteronomy 17:19. Just don't happen, man. You got to be taught them things.
This book of Deuteronomy, chapter 17, verse 19. And it shall be with him, and he shall read therein all the days of his life, that he may learn to fear the Lord his God, to keep all the words of this law, and these statutes to do them.
Right. And so somebody, we said it's proverb all man, I don't fear no man. I don't fear nobody but God. A lot of time they saying that, they don't fear the Lord, man. Because you need to be meditating on His word. You need to be knowing what you in danger of. You need to be knowing the powers, knowing what's abominable to them, knowing what's disgusting to them, knowing what's making them jealous, knowing what's provoking them to anger. If you're around some dangerous person, you know what you want to know what provokes that person to anger, so you can stay out of the way. Only young kids say, "Nah, man, I'm trying to stay out of the way." And spiritually, that's how we gotta be, man. We gotta be You gotta be trying to stay out of his way, man. You know, stay in his way, but out of the way. And so you don't get, hit with that darn joke. Especially a lot of times, maybe jump in there, somebody else getting whooped. Jump in, jump in there, somebody, them whoopings, man. You in there trying to save somebody, and then both of y'all are getting whooped. But sometimes you just gotta stay out of the way, man. You just send up a prayer. Your sibling in there getting whooped, man. Just send up a prayer for him, and learn from that lesson, man. Used to be a time too, man. You see somebody else getting whooped, man. You start crying, man. I've seen that too, man. Just knowing.
Hey,
that.
Shalakia.
Go ahead.
Hey, I had a family member of mine, man. They was out there in them streets, man. You dig? And my daddy got hope to her. And had them hand around her neck. Me not knowing I'm young, I'm trying to get him off of her. Dad shot me a bow and told me don't touch him. And he got back to work. But when I found out why, as I got older, that person deserved that, man. At that time. Yeah.
See, that's what I'm saying. A lot of times we be jumping in, we don't even know what's going on. We don't even know what's going on. Y'all, I may have to go and switch this mic. Give me 1 sec. Let me get in here. What we at? 25, Deuteronomy 28, 58.
You ready?
Yeah, you can go ahead.
Deuteronomy 28:58. If thou wilt not observe to do all the words of this law that are written in this book, that thou mayest fear this glorious and fearful name, the Lord thy God.
Observe to do all the words of this law, that thou may fearest. That thou may fearest the Most High. Where we at? Deuteronomy. I'm like, man, who that just popped in? That me. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Deuteronomy 31:12.
This book of Deuteronomy, chapter 31, verse 12. Gather the people together, men and women, and children, and thy stranger that is within thy gate, that they may hear, and that they may learn, and fear the Lord your God, and observe to do all the words of this law.
Yeah, Karen, until the brother get back in, man, and that's the whole point, man. It's the fear of the Lord that I got, man, because Tupac Kane used to always say, man, only God can judge me. He got a song that only God can judge me, man. But when you go into Hebrews 10:31, say the fall is a fearful thing to fall in the hands of the Most High. Like, that's the last person you want to judge you is the Most High. Right? So we don't fear the Most High. We don't fear God. And that's even in Israel, man. We play with this text as if we on a sunny day at the park, man. We don't really fear God, man. We don't have no fear of the Lord, man. And so we have to start practicing that, man. We got to start practicing in our home and teaching our kids and our grandkids how to fear God, man. Because if you fear him, you will not sin against him. You'll stay upright, man. You'll treat your neighbor as you want to be treated, man. You'll treat your wife as she want to be done on, as you want to be treated, and your kids, your akims, akwas, you'll treat them as you want to be treated. And you won't put usury upon your brothers. All this stuff is the law, man. And the law was made for a perfect reason, man. You know what I mean? So we have to fear him, man. We have to fear him, man. Give me while the brother let me get this precept real quick. Hold on a second. While the brother getting his stuff together, man. You back up? Still kind of static.
Yeah, no, man. Y'all hear me? Okay.
It's coming out real bad.
All right, hold on.
Okay. Let me get this preset real quick. Um, yeah, let me get that Hebrews 10 and 31. While the brother getting this stuff together. That's why I just act quote. Hebrews 10 and 31, man.
It's the big book of Hebrews, chapter 10, verse 31.
Time.
It is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living God,
Uh huh. Go ahead.
but call to remembrance the former days, in which after ye were illuminated, ye endured a great fight of afflictions,
Mm-hmm.
partly while ye were made a gazing stock both by reproaches and afflictions, and partly while ye became companions of them that were so used.
Read on.
For ye had compassion of me in my books, in my bonds, and took joyfully the spoiling of your good, knowing in yourselves that ye have in heaven a better and an enduring substance.
And better at doing substance. So this is what verse 31, the writer of Hebrews saying, it's a fearful thing to fall in the hand of the Most High. And so we got to understand that because, you know, at the end of the day, Tupac right, only God can judge you, but that judgment of the Most High, you don't want. You know what I mean? You want to hear a good recompense, not a payback recompense. And so it's a but call to remembrance the former days in which after ye were illuminated, ye endured a great fight of affliction. So that's what I'm saying. That's part of that fear is once you got illuminated, you dealt with that enduring affliction, right? You dealt with that enduring affliction, and that's what we got to do, man. We got to endure that enduring affliction. You back, brother?
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, come.
Nah.
Um. Okay. All right. So y'all. Okay. Okay. We good.
God,
Yeah, come.
God.
All right. Oh man, then I can't hear y'all. Uh. Yeah, we'll get it figured out. All right. The fear of the Most High is the beginning of wisdom. Proverbs 1 and 7.
This is Proverbs chapter 1 and verse 7. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction.
All right, it's the beginning of knowledge, beginning of wisdom, fear of the Lord. Proverbs 9:10.
the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the holy is understanding.
All right. Psalms 111:10. Like I said, you just quick hitters. You write them down, and you just because like I said, I got about 20 slides on it.
Psalms 111 and 10. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. Good understanding have all they that do his commandments. His praise endureth forever.
And this is why we know the fear is the principal thing. It's principle. It's basic. It's the base level. We must have that fear when we, if we want to travail or travel to wisdom or travel to understanding, um, to travel, to stay in righteousness, to keep our garments white. We gonna have to deal with that fear. Humbled to fear.
Yeah, I,
Yeah, I'm here. My bad. I just had to change to my headphones. Can y'all hear me?
Con.
yeah,
God,
come.
Everybody still on? Okay. Deuteronomy 6:2. I'm sorry, y'all.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 6 and verse 2. That thou might fear the Lord thy God to keep all his statutes and his commandments, which I command thee, thou and thy son and thy son's son, all the days of thy life, and that thy days may be prolonged.
All right, that fear of the Lord. And I seen somebody ask 50 Cent, you don't fear nothing? I think it was Charlemagne. You don't fear nothing? Do you fear anybody? And he was like, man, I fear a lot of people. That's how I stayed alive. It's like if you don't have fear, you don't know. You're just being, just unaware of danger. You don't know where danger lies, and it's dangerous consequences in not following these law, statutes, and commandments, and not following the word of God is dangerous. And a lot of us just think it's fun, but it's dangerous. Uh, Somebody had something.
Yeah, hey, Slakia. And if you get into that Biggie movie, right? So you brought up 50 Cents. The day he went to Los Angeles at that what is that? I think it was that either Vibe or one of those magazine parties. He was supposed to go to Europe, right? He didn't want to go to Vegas. I mean, he didn't want to go to LA because of the whole Tupac issue, right? But he was pressured by by some of the brothers to come to LA because people be trying to save face. But that fear would have probably prolonged your life. Everybody was saying because he had just had operation that he did not want to go to LA, right? But that pressure and didn't want to seem like he was cowering out, that he was scared, didn't want to feel like a little coward. Yeah, he went to LA and got killed. And I you.
Yep, gone, and that's pride. Yeah, little pride got you killed. Yeah, man. And you knew the fear was there, and you ignored it. And you know, I've been in situations where I ignored certain things. I ignored certain indicators, and I got punished. I got punished. Could have lost my life, but you know, just you trying to be that guy. You trying to be, oh no, I ain't finna let them do that and da da. Man, please, you know, yeah, you better go ahead and ain't nothing wrong with getting up out of that situation. Ain't nothing wrong, definitely ain't nothing wrong with following thus says the Lord, man. Um where we at? Deuteronomy 8:2. We at slide 8, y'all.
Fine. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 8, verse 2. And thou shalt remember all the way which the Lord thy God led thee these 40 years in the wilderness, to humble thee and to prove thee, to know what was in thine heart, whether thou wouldest keep his commandments or no. And he humbled thee and suffered thee to hunger, and fed thee with manna, which thou knewest not, neither did thy fathers know, that he might make thee known that man doeth not live by bread only, but by every word that proceeded out of the mouth of the Lord doeth man live. Thy raiment waxed not old upon thee, neither did thy foot swell these 40 years. Thou shalt also consider in thy heart that as a man chastened his son, so the Lord thy God chastened thee. Therefore, thou shalt keep the commandments of the Lord thy God to walk in his ways and to fear him.
And to fear him, man. I humbled thee, I fed you with that manna. A lot of people thinking that manna was just sweet. It was sweet, but it wasn't a sweet situation because, I said that, people were still hungry. People were, having visions of those flesh pots in Egypt. But I did that to humble them. We just talking about that incident. I was bringing up the incident, dealing with pride with Biggie, and that pride could have saved him. But again, that's one of those, again, another essential doctrine of is humility, man. Gotta have humility. And he was trying to teach us these things. So I can even bring you in the land, I gotta humble you. Before I can bring you in the land, I gotta teach you to fear me. Jokers in there had to watch 10,000 people get swallowed in the earth.
Hmm.
Had to watch the Joker. Look out there picking sticks and just disappear, just die. Had to watch the Joker just give up the ghost. Man, it's
Mm.
it's just stuff they had to see so they can build up that fear. And they knew where it came from. They ain't just they seen it and then heard exactly who did it. You know what I'm saying? And but I gotta have that. You gotta have that before you go to the promised land. Gotta have that ultimately, before you can get into the kingdom. Deuteronomy 10:12, man, we know what that is. All right. Covenant, man, are you breaking it? Jeremiah 32:10, 32:40. I'm sorry. I'm not really breaking the covenant, but y'all will get what I'm saying.
Jeremiah 32 and 40. And I will make an everlasting covenant with them, that I will not turn away from them to do them good, but I will put my fear in their hearts, that they shall not depart from me.
And so that's what I'm saying. You don't have the fear, and if he he's saying he's gonna do this, but if you don't have that, man, he can't keep you. He can't keep you, man. I gotta put this fear in their hearts, and this is what we seen earlier, the earlier slide about the praying. Praying that you unify my heart or unite my heart with that fear again. I'm out here disrespectful. Um, Psalms 89, 28 through 34.
God. It's the book of Psalms, chapter 89, verse 28. My mercy will I keep for him forevermore, and my covenant shall stand fast with him. His seed also will I make to endure forever, and his throne as the days of heaven. If his children forsake my law and walk not in my judgments, if they break my statutes and keep not my commandments, then will I visit their transgression with the rod, and
Mm,
their iniquity with stripes.
mm,
Nevertheless, my loving kindness will I not utterly take from him, nor suffer my faithfulness to fail. My covenant will I not break, nor alter the thing that is done out of my lips.
uh, I won't. I'm gonna tell you whatever I told you. That's what you gonna get. Those promises, you still gonna get them promises. Them covenants will come to you. But man, them children break my law, man. I'm coming with that rod, man.
Mm,
And do that scare you? No. Is that scary? It's only scary if you believe it. And so really the fear kind of based on your faith also. Like how much do we really believe the text? Um, but that sounds bad to me, man. You know.
Hey, so
God.
hey, so like
And go ahead, go ahead.
it Miami being jumped in the game, man. You know how they jump you in and they kicking your butt, they put you on the ground and kick your teeth out, and after all that they pick you up and hug you.
Mm,
They pick you up and hug you, man. Like man, good man, good chin, brother. You took it like a man. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right, right. Everybody around you, now you in the brotherhood, man.
Yeah,
Appreciate
in
you,
the
man.
brotherhood, man.
Man. But too, you also fear you don't want to go through that again. Because they
Come,
have certain rules and regulations within that you can break. They have certain laws in there and covenants in there that you can break that will cause you to go back through there. So once you took that first lick and you're like, man, I do not want to go through that again.
mm,
So, it's a lot of times when you come to this thing, we know that's a rock too. Come to this thing, man, you're gonna get tested. You're gonna get touched, man. All that I hear is he chastening them. We just read that, but the precept in Hebrews. Um, okay. Yeah, it's a choice. Proverbs 129.
It's Shalakia. Proverbs 1:29. For
Uh,
they that hated knowledge and did not choose the fear of the Lord.
we know knowledge is the law. He that hated knowledge, hated my word, hated my statutes, my commandments. You know, and then you didn't choose the fear. You didn't choose the fear. You don't want to fear. And you, like I said, you put it on a t-shirt, you'll say all those things, but you don't fear the Lord. Sirach 2 and 15.
God. It's the book of Sirach, chapter 2, verse 15. They that fear the Lord will not disobey his word,
Mm.
And they that love him will keep his ways.
Mm-hmm.
They that fear the Lord will seek that which is well pleasing unto him. And they that love him shall be filled with the law.
Mm.
They that fear the Lord will prepare their hearts and humble their souls in his sight, saying, we will fall into the hands of the Lord and not into the hands of men.
Mm.
For as his majesty is, so is his mercy.
So is his mercy, man. As his throne is, his royalty is, his kingdom is, so is his mercy, man. It's great. So I'd rather be judged by him than be judged by men. You
Hmm.
know, but we see all of these principal things there, man. And we see
Right?
that humility there. Go ahead, Op.
So it's like I said, ain't that what they call it, fear God other than men? Like,
Right.
a lot of us, we fear men more than the Most High.
Exactly.
Man kill you once, the Most High gonna kill you twice. I yield.
Come on now. But we don't do we believe that?
Hmm.
Do we believe that? Or are we walking more scarier when we about to break the Sabbath and we got our fringes on? Or is it more frightening? Do you feel it in you? I hope don't nobody see me. Why I'm doing this, or I have to explain myself why I'm doing it at this. Is it a little, is it are you do you tense up a little more than you tense up that the Lord is watching you? You know.
Hmm.
Shalaki, and that take for me when I first came into this truth, wearing fringes and stuff like that was all new, you know. And so I felt out of place, right? I'll be honest, I felt out of place, wondering what people, what people perception was, you know what I mean? When I first came into this truth, I had to build my walk, but now I feel naked without them. You know what I mean? Like now it's just a way of life. But yeah, at the beginning, man, yeah, my fear was a little shaky when it came to the Lord. I feared man. I wonder what man was saying. But now, all praise the Lord.
Right, right. And it do hurt. Like them first couple, where your fringes at, brother? Yeah.
Yeah.
Make you not want to shalom nobody, man. You
God,
see them like them fringes, you like, man, nah, I ain't even finna go in that little judgment. We can't be 100. We can't be 100. Come on
They on
now.
the way. They on the way,
Yeah,
brother.
they on the way. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I just got in, man. I just came to this thing. I'm trying to get my stuff together,
That's
man.
right. That's right.
Yeah, man.
God, it's like another thing. Like when brother be like, "Hey, shalom, brother." First thing you do, look at the fridge. You
Look at
look
the
at it.
fridge. The joker looking down.
You like, "What the fridge
Start
is?"
start turning his lip up.
Oh, that's funny.
Shalom, bro.
Mm.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Sirach, one man, we ain't got to go through there. Listen, Sirach, anytime you about 20 to 25 minutes talking out there on the streets, you go to Sirach one, you can get that fear. Put your precepts in there with that fear. That's Sirach one. You can run that all the way down to 30, and stop and just talk about the people just not dealing with the fear. And that's a good topic. It's always a good topic. It's never a bad topic to preach the fear of the Lord. But we're not gonna go to this for time purposes. Um, teach with fear and trembling. Galatians 1:10.
It's the book of Galatians, chapter 1, verse 10. For do I now persuade men of God,
Mm,
or do I seek to please men?
mm.
For if I yet please men, I should not be the servant of Christ.
Can't be a servant of Christ. Can't have two masters. You serving man or you serving Christ. I know what the men thinking, man. You trying to please them. You want everybody to be happy. Is Christ happy? At the end of the day, what I'm saying? You want all the men to be happy. You want all the sisters to be happy. Do it make Christ happy. And we can't negate that. We got to understand who our master is, why, who we are slave to first, and then, long as it doesn't, um long as it's under his will, then, we do what we need to do. But we're not out here teaching, we're not out here working to please men, we're trying to please the Lord. And we've seen our forefathers get in trouble for that. We've seen the whole kingdom snatched from our brother, our King Saul, that he tried to call out to Samuel, man, and tried to
Mm.
even resurrect him. And Samuel was like, brother, Samuel told him, listen, man, he ain't talking to you. You called to him, he ain't say nothing back to you, and you did all that, man.
It's rep.
It's over with, bro. It's a wrap. I see you tomorrow. You'll be down here with me tomorrow, man.
Mm.
You'll be down here with me tomorrow, and that's whew, whew.
Mm.
Nobody know the day of the hour. What if you knew the day? What if you knew it? And I ain't talking about the day of his return. I'm talking about the day you gone,
Mm.
and you don't even know. You don't know that. But if you did know it, man, you gonna be lined up. That's what that precept. What's that? The precept with the man. If if you knew, if the you knew when the thief was coming in, you'll prepare.
Yeah, and Matthew's 24.
You ain't got to get it, but you know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
okay.
Matthew 24, y'all. Um, yeah, man. You'll have your house prepared. You'll have things in order. He's coming. And I was talking to Art earlier today, man. People getting burned out because we keep saying he coming, he here, he here, he here. It's time, it's time, it's time, it's time. Anything that happen, anything that go down, anything that spark, but we like, oh, that's it. And then jokers is, making the preparations, but they're not doing it naturally. They're not doing it. I'm not gonna say naturally, but they're not doing it spiritually. They hearts ain't in the right place. You know, they trying to do it at the last second, and then when it don't really happen, it grow grievous. You done did all this stuff trying to prepare your house and get everything in order, and you done got the house all clean, and then none of the people that you invited come,
Mm.
and you just waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting, and then after a while, man, you just let the house get back junky, and you don't even worry about that mess no more. And that's what happens a lot of times when we're just got to be careful with prophesying these things, man. We gotta be careful that we prophesying. We don't even know it sometimes, man. We just think we can just be saying stuff, but it's you can cause an offense. First Corinthians 2 and 3. Oh yeah.
First Corinthians chapter 2 and verse 3. And I was with you in weakness and in fear and in much trembling. And my speech and my preachings was not with enticing words of man's wisdom, but in demonstration of the Spirit of the power, that your faith should not stand in the wisdom of men, but in the power of God. Howbeit we speak wisdom among them that are perfect, yet not the wisdom of this world, nor of the princes that of this world that come to naught. But we speak the wisdom of God in a mystery, even the hidden wisdom which God ordained before the world unto our glory.
Con. And so we see Paul, he's in here teaching in his weakness, in his fear, in his trembling, whatever he was dealing with, whatever he was going through, he was still teaching the word, and it wasn't the word of man's wisdom. It was a simplistic word, but mysterious, but in power, in the spirit. Uh, and it showed them, because, to increase their faith, it showed him um, certain miracles and certain things that he did to increase their faith. Just like when Christ was walking the earth, man, he did certain things to try to increase faith in these people. He walked in power. He had the ability to do miraculous things to show these people to be that they could be witnesses for. And but it didn't help. Those was it's blessed are those that believeth and don't see.
Hey, Shalaki,
Um, Go ahead,
do
brother.
we is it a parallel between? Do you think you guys probably think there's a parallel between when you at your weakest point? Like you see here our brother Paul is going through a bit of affliction, and you notice like even when Christ through his affliction, even when you fast and affliction your body for your spirit to get gain. It seems like at your weakest point is when God make you the strongest. What do you think about that?
Yeah, it's what's that text with uh in your weakness my strength is made perfect. Um Let me try to find that. But absolutely, absolutely, when we empty ourselves, that's why the fasting is important also. Uh, but we in that text in our bottom, man. You ain't got no job, man. You in that text. You in there. You put them applications in, man. You picking up that text, man. Cause you trying to get that prayer to go through. You trying to get it together when you afflicted. And when you at your low point, and sometimes it's that's why I say the afflictions are the blessings because they do bring us closer, man. They do, them weak moments. It do make us cry out. I yield for brothers. Does anybody else got something on that? Uh,
I found that precept out. It's like
oh, go ahead, cause I was just finna look for it. Go ahead, bring it out.
in
Water.
2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 8. It says, "For this thing I besought the Lord thrice, and it might depart from me.
Mm,
And he said unto me, My grace is sufficient for thee,
yes,
for my
sir.
strength is made perfect in weakness.
Mm.
Most
See,
gladly,
go ahead. Shall I go finish up, Shall
it says, Most gladly, therefore, will I rather glory in my infirmities than the power of Christ may rest upon me."
I? Yeah, so they can see it. When you at your lowest and I bring you out that thing, people gonna see my strength. They gonna see my power. And so sometimes, he like to empty you out and then fill you back up. And
Hey,
go ahead, Op.
I was saying, so like it was some more meat on that bone.
Oh, go ahead, Op.
I was gonna bring that 10 to it says, Therefore, I take pleasure in infirmities, in reproaches,
Mm,
in necessities, in
mm,
persecutions, in distress for Christ's sake. For when I am weak, then I am strong.
mm. Yep, yep. And we gotta believe that, man. I know, it was this one time at work, man. We had to put these darn I never forget it, man. We had to put these darn. We had to get. I had to get people to do reviews. All right, I had to get people to do um, reviews when I was waiting tables, and just say, but I hated doing. I hated asking them. They already done gave me their money. I hated asking them. Hey, can you please do a review and tell me how your customer service was? Um, but if you didn't do it, you didn't. They had a prize. Whoever had the most, you get your name drawn in this little basket. I had like two. I only had my name in there one time in this bag. Some people had their name in there 50 times, 20 times, 30 times, or whatever. And but they was I felt like they was oppressing me because I wasn't getting the review. So they was trying to put me in bad sections and but I knew once the drawing came, when the Joker had his hand, I knew when the drawing came, I just walked up to him, man, give me my $50, man. It was a $50 drawing. Give me my $50, man. And I don't. I was like, I knew that them $50 were mine and it wasn't because I'm lucky. It's because of how they treated me, how they persecuted me, for not getting those darn things. I felt I was mistreated, which I probably wasn't. Um, that's just what you got to do. They say you got to get the reviews. You got to get the reviews. What you crying about? But back then I didn't have that mindset. I thought it was stupid. And
Hmm.
if they tell you that I did a good job, that's it, man. Why you making them go in there and go on the phone and have to call people and do all that? Plus, I don't want to do it. But anyway, long story short, He pulled the drawing out. It had my name on it. Everybody was in there sick. Everybody was mad. He said, "How you know? How did you do that? Y'all set it up and all of that." But um, sometimes it's like that, man. Sometimes, and that you can get through that when you have, coworkers or you have your boss getting on you or so forth. You know, you be like, man, your time gonna come. I had another employee, man. That joker told me one time, man. He was like, man, if you knew I was gonna do that, cause I was the manager, kitchen man. He said, man, you knew I was gonna do that. Why your darn, why your little short chubby butt didn't do it? And man, I was like, man, your time, you gonna get yourself up out of here, man. You gonna end up getting yourself up out of here, man. And it ended up happening to him, man. He went through something bad, and I'm gonna tell you, man. We ain't gonna get through this thing. Let me finish this story, man. We were coming from camp, maybe maybe 2 months after that. We were coming from camp, and we end up going to the store and making the store run, taking everybody home, so forth. And but I seen him at the bus stop. I knew he had already done got fired by this. So I seen him at the bus stop, you know, uh, just high out his mind, right? And I had left my car at the darn. I had left my car at the gas station. I had left my car at the gas station, and but I ended up letting it. I left it running. I was so eager to go get to this Joker because he gave me so much flack at that job, man. Just caused it to be difficult. You know what I'm saying? But I was just so anxious to get up there and see that Joker. And when I got up there, the brother was when I finally got up there, the brother was crying. And I was like, dang, I was coming up here to try to do like a aha moment with this brother. And I'm in the truth. Like, I'm maybe 2 years in, maybe 6 months doing camps. Um, but I was in the wrong spirit, man. And when I got there, man, I just felt so much guilt and felt so bad about that feeling I had over me, trying to seek revenge, trying to get that aha moment and point the finger. And I told your butt and so forth. And later on though, maybe 2 3 years later, he came and he checked himself into a program, and he came back up to the job. He done got him some fake dreads, had him a truck, and he told me thank you. He told me thank you, and said I was right. But that moment, I look at that moment, it's like, man, I was definitely in the wrong spirit, man. You can't just have that vengeance on you. But that's for anybody, man. That lesson's for anybody that has that, or you want to see that, man. It's not worth it. But and I'm gonna end with I end with this part too. Brothers had went in the store when they came out. I was about two brothers with me, man. When they came out, they seen that the car was empty, and they got in the car and drove it up. They was driving it up to me when they seen me. They got in the car, started driving. You know what them jokers said? They said, I thought you had done went in the cherry.
Well, thought you was out of here.
They thought you was gone, bro. He thought he called you, but we was in trouble. Whew.
Yeah.
We was in trouble, boy. We was in trouble.
That's
I
funny.
knew Phineas was going, but at the same time, I was in sin. They don't even know that I was just walking back from sin, really. Having that vengeful heart towards my brother, man. But yeah, that was fun, man. It was one of those lessons, man. Where we at, man? First Samuel. First Samuel.
15,
Con.
Yeah,
15,
con.
24.
It's First Samuel chapter 15, verse 24. And Saul said unto Samuel, I have sinned, for I have transgressed the commandment of the Lord and thy words, because I feared the people and obeyed their voice.
I obeyed their voice, man. And you got to understand that too, man. As teachers, we all leaders. You know what I'm saying? You got to know that, and we all teachers. You know, we gotta don't don't listen to the people, man. You know what I'm saying? You can listen, but don't not over. Thus says the Lord. And Saul comes to that realization, man. I sin, man. I transgress because I feared the people. I feared
Hmm.
the people and I obeyed their voice. And it don't matter. It ain't even just it's like whoever you fear, you're gonna listen to. It ain't just the Lord, is it? You fear people, and then if you putting them over, that's who you fear the most.
Hmm.
Whoever you obeying the most, you fear the most. You know what I'm saying? You done heard men say that too, man. Like, man, nah, I gotta go listen to the wife, man, and shit. You fear them consequences. See, a lot of men had them discussions, man. Nah, nah, I got to see. I got to see. Let me check in with her and let me do this and that. Because there's some consequences. It's some consequences, man.
Get upstairs. Go.
Uh, his might is to bring fear, and some men will fear their wives more than they fear the Lord. Let their wife talk them out of thus says the Lord. Joshua 4:23. His might is to bring fear. Go ahead, Shalaki.
Joshua chapter 4, verse 23. For the Lord your God dried up the waters of Jordan from before you until you were passed over, as the Lord your God did to the Red Sea, which he dried up from before us until we were gone over, that all the people of the earth might know the hand of the Lord, that it is mighty, that ye might fear the Lord your God forever.
Forever, man. You know, Joker's Joker seen what they were talking about. These aliens that came down, and that's all they talk. Man, these aliens and these UFOs and the
God.
nuclear warfare. They ain't fearing the Lord. While they are time that the Lord is doing these things, you know, we get spooked out by all this, man. You know what they about to do, man? Did you hear what your man? This recession and that, man. But we see these testimonies. This is His might. This is His doing, and that's why we, instead of us, you know, turning, repenting, and facing east and crying to the Lord. We trying to get our credit right. I think that credit gonna get. Yeah, let me get that credit together, man, for I can fix this recession. But if he drying up the lake, if he drying up the Federal Reserve, then ain't man, you have a 900 credit, man. It don't matter. He dried if the Most High drying it up, man. You need to be getting your credit right with him.
Hmm.
You need to be getting your report right with him. Fear before service, Hebrews 12:28. Man, we'll do two more slides, y'all, and we'll be up out there. We'll do two more, maybe we come back next week.
God. This book of Hebrews, chapter 12, verse 28. Wherefore we receiving a kingdom which cannot be moved.
Mm.
Let us have grace whereby we may serve God acceptably with reverence and godly fear. For our God is a consuming fire.
You better believe it. He is a consuming fire. Have a godly fear. That's a t-shirt.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's a t-shirt. But yeah, man. Joshua 24:14.
Joshua 24 and 14. Now therefore fear the Lord and serve him in sincerity and in truth,
Mm.
and put away the gods which your fathers served on the other side of the flood and in Egypt, and serve ye the Lord.
Come on, man. We gotta keep telling y'all this. Just gotta keep telling. Man, leave them gods alone that you serve. Y'all done made it over here. 1 Samuel 12 and 24. And a lot of times I say, man, we don't want to take accountability. We don't want to, that's what our brother be, man. Hey, teach us about the good times. But how beneficial is it if the good times just gonna get you? We all we talking about is that doing, Jericho being turned down. Is that gonna puff you up or that gonna give you fear? Like which one is more important? Is the fear more important or you being puffed up about how wonderful your God is or how wonderful you are being his chosen? All right, but we don't want to talk about we don't want to talk about that rod. We don't want to talk about that chastening. We don't want to talk about that consuming fire.
Hmm.
Man, wiped out the planet. First, what was that? 1 Samuel 12.
Con.
Huh.
In 1 Samuel chapter 12, verse 14. If you will fear the Lord and serve him and obey his voice and not rebel against the commandment of the Lord, then shall both ye and also the king that reigneth over you continue following the Lord your God.
Huh. But that fear gotta be there. Serve him and to obey his voice. That fear gotta be there. You gotta have that fear. Uh, yeah, I said we'll do it. 1 Samuel 1 and 15, and then one more slide, and we'll get out of here. We'll close out and come back another time. Yeah.
This is First Samuel chapter 1 and 15. Oh no, 11. 11 and 1 through 15.
God.
It reads, Then Nahash the Ammonite came up and encamped against Jabelishagid, and all the men
Jabesh
of
Galilee, something like that. Go ahead.
Jabesh, Ga-
Just
Jabesh,
took my own
Jab-
shot.
Jabesh Gilead,
Okay.
and all the men of Jabesh said unto Nahash, Make a covenant with us, and we will serve thee. And Nahash the Amorite answered them, On this condition will I make a covenant with you, that I may thrust out all your right eyes, and lay it for a reproach upon all Israel. And the elders of Jabesh said unto him, Give us 7 days respite, that we may send messengers unto all the coast of Israel. And then, if there be no man to save us, we will come out to thee. Then came the messengers to Gibeah of Saul, and told the tidings in the ears of the people. And all the people lifted up their voices and wept. And behold, Saul came after the herd out of the field. And Saul said, What aileth the people that they weep? And they told him the tidings of the men of Jabesh.
And that's what. Listen, man. Now, listen. And I want y'all to be honest. What kind of people when they get encamped by another nation of people, and you try to plead to the people, man? Listen, man. We don't really want no smoke. What can we do to reconcile this? The people say, man, I need you to pluck out all your right eyes. Everybody got to get their right eye plucked out. And you come back and you hear this news. How would you feel? What would you feel like? Like you a nation of people, you got another nation of people saying, I'm gonna pluck your eyes out. Um, how would you feel when somebody come and tell you, hey, y'all got to do that, man? I'm gonna pluck out your wife eye, your kids' eyes, your eyes, for y'all to make it out of this situation.
Hmm.
Um, Shalakia. 2 words: devastated and tragic.
Devastated and
Devastated
tragic. Okay.
and tragic.
Hmm.
Uh,
Ain't no option.
Ain't no option to do what?
Yeah, yeah, well,
Like for me, I want to fight, man.
I, I, I was
I
finna
might
say
well
it
die.
go time.
Yeah, it
Sound
might
like
well
it
be
go
go to
time to
for
me.
me. It might well just be go time. Like it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
what? I can't trust you, man. You doing trying to do something slick like you want to take my eye out. Like, oh, I definitely won't be able to fight. Then, man, I would want to fight, but that's me talking. That's me talking and not and not seeing that army across.
Yeah,
That
con.
army doing surrounded us. So it's easy for me to get on here and talk tough.
Hey, it's like
Hey,
Go ahead,
oh man. Now go ahead, brother. Go ahead,
hey,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
hey,
Go
but
ahead,
look though. I mean, you got your wife, you got your children. It ain't
Mm,
just you. You
mm.
know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
No,
You
it was
right.
just you. You know what I mean? But to
You right.
see, to see your family get tortured because they're gonna make you watch your family get tortured. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So,
Hey,
so
hey,
you right.
so like they remind me of that scene from Bad Boy when the two mafia dudes sitting at the table and they rolled their partner in there in the wheelbarrow. He was like, man, I see stuff like this all the time in my country. Why he slid in the envelope when he opened it. Wife, children playing baseball. He said, man, give me the pen. Go on and sign it. Golly. See, it wasn't
Yes,
about
sir.
him. He
Right,
had the family.
right. You
Hey,
right. You right. You right. You right. And so yeah. So I'm yeah, and that's one of my issues. It's just me.
gone,
So all I be
gone.
thinking about,
Yeah,
yeah, I should throw myself out there. But yeah, you're right. And that's what I'm saying, it's easy to say it on this side. But yes, it's tragic. And our people are weeping. They're hearing this news and they are crying. They're crying out. How and ultimately you helpless at that point. Like if you can't do nothing but cry, you feel like you helpless to that situation. What else we got? Where we at? Six?
Verse 6. And the Spirit of God came upon Saul when he heard those tidings, and his anger was kindled greatly.
Mm,
And he took a yoke of oxen and hewed them in pieces, and sent them throughout all the coast of Israel by the hand of the messenger, saying, whosoever cometh not forth after Saul and after Samuel, so shall it be done unto his oxen. And the
mm,
fear of the Lord fell on the people, and they came out with one consent.
mm. So look what Saul did. And before we say what Saul did, don't forget that he heard the news and the Spirit of God came upon him. So
mm,
God heard the news too. Of course, God heard the news. But that spirit came upon him. And I don't know how that oxen looked when they received it in amongst
mm.
Israel, but it was a sign to say, hey, let's get up and fight. Where else we heard that? Where else we heard something like, some things getting cut up and sent throughout Israel to get Israel riled up to fight. Anybody ever know another example of something being cut up and and distributed throughout Israel to provoke Israel to come and fight?
Hmm.
are
I
you
think
I'm thinking. Hmm, that won't be Nah, that's I was thinking about that First Kings 12 against Israel, but nah, I can't, not offhand.
What started the first Kings 12?
Say it again.
What started that in the first Kings 12? First Kings 12, expound on it a little more. You might be right.
Yeah, that started with Israel and Jeroboam um causing them to go into idolatry, and it
Nah.
it kind it kind of got bad.
When I say it, you're gonna be like, man, yeah, that's it. The concubine that got that they had sex with to the point of death. Um, y'all remember that concubine? It was a concubine. Dude gave her the concubine, And instead of the mob came out there, those Benjamites, and we was finna fight the Benjamites, fight against the Benjamites. But once they pretty much raped the woman till she died, till the concubine died, um, he ended up getting the concubine, chopping her body up and sending it to the tribes,
Dang.
and and then Israel and provoked Israel to fight against the Benjamites, and we almost wiped out. Well, the Benjamites whooped us a couple times. The Benjamites whooped them like once or twice. And then they finally got hold to them and almost wiped out the Benjamites, and then had to replenish them. Um, y'all ain't heard that story. If you ain't heard that story, see if we can find that story. We can just give it to them, and y'all can read over that. Man, it's a horrific story, but it that was a call to action, just like we see here with this oxen being in these pieces. The I don't know the culture. I just know it was done similar to get us
Okay.
to do something. Um, Let me see if I can find it. Uh,
Is it Judges 19:25 art?
I'm not even sure, brother. Chopped in pieces, but I think it's in Kings. No, yep, that's Judges. Yeah, yep, yep. Judges 19 29 is in there, but probably Judges 19 and 20 goes
Mm-hmm.
into that.
Yeah, that judge is rough though, bro.
Yes,
Judge is
sir.
rough.
Yeah, yeah. In
Judge
that
is rough.
time, everyone did is what they thought could be right, what they thought was right.
Hmm.
Israel was without a king, so everyone did what they thought was right. Did we finish this thing up? Yeah, everyone came up to one consent. So everybody was riled up, ready to fight. After that, go ahead and finish this story up, and then we'll be up out it. Last slide, y'all. We still in that same book.
And when he Shalaki, and when he numbered them in Bezek, the children of Israel were 300,000, and the men of Judah 30,000. And they said unto the messengers that came, Thus shall ye say unto the men of Jabesh Gilead tomorrow, by that time the sun be hot, ye shall have help. And the messenger came and showed it to the men of Jabesh, and they were glad. Therefore the men of Jabesh said, Tomorrow we will come out unto you, and ye shall do with us all that seemeth good unto you. And it was so on the morrow that Saul put the people in three companies, and they came into the midst of the host in the morning watch, and slew the Amorites until the heat of the day.
Mm,
And it came to pass that they which remained were scattered, so that two of them were not left together. And the people said unto Samuel, Who is he that said, Shall Saul reign over us? Bring the men, that we may put them to death. And Saul
mm,
said, There shall not a man be put to death this day, for today the Lord hath wrought salvation in Israel. Then said Samuel to the people, Come, and let us go to Gilgal, and renew the kingdom there. And all the people went to Gilgal, and there they made Saul king before the Lord in Gilgal. And there they sacrificed sacrifices of peace offering before the Lord. And there Saul and all the men of Israel rejoiced greatly.
and then they rejoiced greatly. Let me make sure we ain't got more on that. And then they rejoiced greatly after that victory. But again, we kind of move like that. Israel will tell you something, and it did flip the script and kill your butt, man. Just like Jacob them did when with that situation with their sister, and told them folks, yeah, man, y'all gonna get circumcised, man. We'll take care of that thing, man. And then went down there and slaughtered those folks. And you see here Saul, man, getting renowned and becoming king, and it's funny too that peace offerings being made after that. But can't forget um that that spirit of God fell on him. A lot of times when we read in Samson, he's like, oh man, Samson doing all these great things, but if you pay attention, before most of those, I want to say all of them, but it may be one or two it didn't say it, but I want to say all of them. It says the spirit of God came on him. He seen something, and then the spirit of God came on him, and then he was able to do them great those great feats. Um, and we see Saul here operating under that same thing, and when when it seemed bad, uh, they was able to overcome those Ammonites, even though they were surrounded, and even though the threat was great, but they built up a certain courage with that spirit of the Lord, not just on them, but and a fear and a fear of the Lord, and the fear of the Lord fell on the people, and they was in one consent. Everybody knew where it's time to go. It's time to roll, and that's a beautiful thing. I don't think prayerfully we'll see it. Prayerfully, we unite, and we can cry out, and the Spirit fall on us, and we all have a fear of the Lord, and we can all walk in one consent. But a lot of times that don't come until we have a great opposition. Like, we have a situation that we feel helpless, and we see these things, and we kind of contribute these things to maybe us not doing what we supposed to be doing out here, and then maybe we can walk in 1%. Y'all brothers got anything? Anybody got anything? Any words? Any exhortation? Any thoughts about this story with Saul? And if not, man, we'll close this thing on up. We'll come back to this fear another time. Y'all willing, man? Next Wednesday. But I may do it through the week. But yeah, y'all will. I can't make it. Y'all will. Go ahead.
Hey, Shalaki, man, good lesson, brother. I got just two precepts, man, and I want to show the class this little brief story. Acts 5:29, and it says, "Then Peter and the other apostle answered and said, we ought to obey God rather than man." And
Amen.
so, having a fear of God is it's by being obedience to God, right? I'm gonna drop down a little bit. It says, verse 32, and it says, "We are His witness of these things, and so is also the Holy Ghost, which God have given to them that obey Him." And so we understand that this fear of God, it comes with obedience. And one more precept, but then I'm gonna come to the thing I want to show the class. First Corinthians 15 and verse 33. I think it's verse 30 where I want to start at. First Corinthians 15 and verse 30. Verse 33, it said, "Do not be not deceived. Even communication corrupt good manners. I'll await to righteousness and sin not. For some have not. For some have not the knowledge of God. I speak this to your shame." And so I pulled those two precepts. Like I was early today. I was looking at a two-part documentary, and his biological dad was on there, and his dad was saying that before when Tupac was in prison, he was married. He had his wife. He had and his wife was coming every day to the jailhouse, visit him. And then when Death Row got Tupac out, he went to L.A. and then he annulled his marriage. Right? He divorced his wife pretty much, and so he said once before he got with Death Row, he was talking about you know how he wanted to do for his people, how much he loved his people, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But the minute he got with death row, that evil communication corrupt good manners, and that's us even in Israel,
Mm.
right? We have good intentions, but sometimes being under the wrong leadership, sometimes being under the having the wrong people around you can corrupt your thought to where you don't fear God and you giving that praise and that honor to man. And so, good lesson, brother. Yeah, you fear God. You'll be obedient to God rather than man. And I hear, brother.
All praises. All praises. You right. You right. And we definitely have to be mindful because you become one body, whether you know it or not. Man, we around each other. We in class all the time. We talking to each other all the time. Uh, we end up picking up certain mannerisms, start picking up certain thought processes, start picking up certain ways we do things, whatever, and what ends up happening, man, some people be better off. They come in this thing worse off than they came in. I mean, they how I say that, they come in better. They end up coming in and getting worse. Just like the Pharisees, man, making one proselyte traveling land and sea to make one proselyte worse than they was before. And sometimes we do that in this walk. Sometimes this walk be some of the worst things that happen to some people. You know what I'm saying? Because they end up getting corrupt by bad behaviors, and don't have that fear. You're absolutely right. Anybody got anything else?
Right
No.
here.
Yeah, man. All praises, y'all, man. We'll see y'all on the next one, man. Bring it out TV on Friday, y'all willing, and y'all have a blessed rest of the week. Shalom, Israel.
Shalom, fam.
Shalom.
Shalom.